All troops will debark for ground assault. Prepare to target the main generator.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Well, welcome, everybody, to our Roll Rail Lavaros podcast.
I thought you were going to say Roll King for a second.
Yes, it's an all-rail Lavaros podcast. Probably one of my favorite voices of any Audible audio book from Master and Apprentice.
Is that why the veins pop out in your neck when you talk about it?
Honestly, we're a Star Wars reread podcast going through the new Jedi Order series of books, currently in Dark Tide 1 Onslaught, chapter, what is it? 17 now. Yeah. Before we Jedi counseled a little bit, oh man. So obviously Master and Apprentice has been out. You still need to get in on that, and then Dooku Jedi Lost. The voice actor who read through Master and Apprentice and did that Rael Avaros voice. I don't know why, but it seems so odd. Hey, I'm Rael Avaros. I'm a Jedi Master. It hit me really funny. It's like, so it's space cowboys now. Space cowboys with laser swords, and then I can't do it, but the voice he did for
Windu.
For Mace Windu was like, it was like this weird, it was almost like a weird cowboy voice too, you know. So we will get into those books soon enough. They were really fantastic, and I got a ton to talk about there. But I just had to make fun of old Rael Lavaros for about a second. So yeah, let's Jedi Council. How's your week been going?
It's been going pretty good. How about yours?
You know, not too bad. Not too bad. Well, actually, no, it hasn't been great, to be honest with you, because, over the weekend, I bought a new mower. Did I tell you this story?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so I bought a new push mower, for my yard. And got front yard, got side yard all done, went to the backyard, forgot about the exposed grounding rod, and ran over it. And it did such a job on it that it cracked the motor casing and was leaking oil. So thankfully, the Home Depot doesn't care what you do. They just exchanged it for me. I brought it in. Well, it's leaking oil and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, okay. Well, just go get another one. We'll exchange it.
I don't care about my job. Just do it.
It was fantastic. So I got a new mower, which is fantastic. And then I went to pick up a couch. And in classic fashion, I'm trying to just force it in my house myself, because like the guy who was going to help me, one of my buddies was like, I'm sorry, I can't come down. I was like, well, great. Took my door off the hinges, took the feet off the couch, was trying to force it through the door. I wound up having to get my neighbor over to help me, so he was nice enough to help get it in. But when I actually got it in, I noticed that I got part of the back caught on the hinge, and it sliced a little, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of sewing to make it look presentable again. But so anyway, it was going good, and then little mishaps happened. Thankfully, a week's almost over, and then
you were able to take the couch back to Home Depot and replace it, right?
Hey, Home Depot's very liberal. Do you have a receipt? Not for this one. Sure, just wait a minute. We don't even sell couches.
We'll order you one.
We'll order you a couch. No, it was good. No, that's not a big deal. I can sew that back together, and it'll be fine. You barely notice. Oh man. So yeah, little mishaps. Week's almost over. I'm really happy for it to be over. Really happy for it to be over so that I can jump into all the other crap I got to do this weekend. I'm gonna be running all over the place this weekend, and the next weekend is this month's backpacking trip.
Oh,
that you won't be going on because you're working.
But I will be going to the next one, so you need to let me know as soon as possible.
Yep, we already got probably a place picked out for that one, and yeah, man, we're
Tyler's already begging to come with us. So.
Well, there you go. Well, I
think literally he would go with you guys for this month, regardless of me.
Well, he needs to trim down his pack just a wee bit.
No, he just needs to eat faster.
Well, no, that's true. So yeah, it's going to be a busy month. We got a lot going on.
Yeah. Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The All Game of Thrones podcast. When are we going to start that Game of Thrones podcast?
After the show's over.
After the show's over, and
we'll rewatch the entire show.
So we'll just do a whole book to show comparison, and then wait for Winds of Winter to finally come out, right?
Yeah, because people will care about that comparison by then.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Probably there's going to be
Winds
quite
of
a few
Winter
that do care.
When Winds of Winter comes out, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
people are going to go nuts because we're going to finally hear what he wanted to do with it. Because a lot of people have been bashing the show so far, even though
they have coordinated with each other on. So it'll be interesting to see how much they listen to him.
Yeah, I mean, but there's going to be differences, and without getting too analytical in it, the Horn of Winter is going to play a part. Yeah. There is no Night King in the books. There's
it's a different version.
Well, but there's not a centralized main bat. It's just the others. They're out there, the dead people. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens there. But all I know is that Winterfell has the best Starbucks coffee.
For sure.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did. And then they had to digitally remove it.
Oh my goodness! Spoilers. We didn't watch it yet.
Daenerys, you left your coffee out again.
I saw a meme where there's Sansa in full outfit. She's got a Starbucks cup in her hand, and the caption was, I want Daenerys to know it was me. Just like the Queen of Thorns, the Tyrell, Olenna Tyrell. About killing Joffrey in the show. I want Cersei to know it was me. So that made me laugh. That made me laugh quite a bit. The memes have been really all the Maymays have been really good. For this season, a lot of good Maymays.
Are you doing your
Dr. Phil? Yeah, Dr. Phil Maymay.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep, I have voices, or I think I do.
How are those Maymays working out for you?
Well, they're working out fantastic. So anyway, want to obsess about HoloNet for a bit?
Yeah, you're going to take lead on this one because apparently I've been living under a rock.
You have been. I was very surprised.
Just for this week.
I was very, very, very surprised. So obviously, we've had some new books come out. I'm actually trying to pull up another thing that I just thought about just now. But we've had our Master and Apprentice. We've had Dooku Jedi Lost. Absolutely, guys, go out and read those because they are fantastic. Okay, I remember the tweet now. I don't have to look it up. But we'll start minor and then we'll march into big news. So I was listening to, I think it was a Sith Talk podcast. We had a little fun with them at Celebration. And if you want to look them up there, I think you have to look them up as the Adapter Media Network, which is like their overarching thing because they run a few different shows. But the Sith Talk boys were talking about a tweet from Mark Hamill, and I remember seeing it pop up, and I didn't think much of it, but he retweeted this photo, or I think it was maybe like, I don't remember if it was like a Photoshop photo or if it was like an artist, like an artsy thing, but it had like Lando and Chewie and Leia and Han and Luke all in the Millennium Falcon cockpit. And he retweeted it. And it was like one of those things, I think the caption for the original tweet was something along the lines of what could have been or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, it had been a little bit ago. So anyway, he retweets it, and like a lot of people were getting upset with him. It's like, Mark, why are you dissing everything Star Wars? Like, why do you have to do it? And then he comes back and he says, it's just like, I don't know. I just saw a picture of all of us together and I thought it was cool. So I retweeted it. But so there are a couple different schools of thought. We know Mark Hamill's been critical in the past, especially Last Jedi. I think he kind of came around at the end, but during it, he basically said, I disagree with everything that everything that this stands for right now.
And as we all know, what Mark says goes in the Star Wars universe. So,
well, for a lot of fans, it does.
Oh, me included.
Because he's Luke freaking Skywalker.
Yeah.
He was Bullseye and Womp Rats in T-16, from 2 meters, So, but the question is has he gone too far? Do you think that Mark Hamill needs to lay off? Do what old D Trump's not doing, get off the Twitter.
Well, Twitter causes all issues.
Twitter is fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful.
I think it'd be more like, this has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals.
This Twitter is the worst Twitter deal I've ever done in my life. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, though, should Mark Hamill just knock off the Star Wars tweeting? My first impression is, well, no.
He's allowed to have an opinion. I mean, he created this fandom, essentially.
Well, I mean, he was obviously part of it. We want to talk about George Lucas as
yes,
he's
it was
God.
his. Okay,
he brought
Jesus.
he brought the character to life of Luke Skywalker.
Could you imagine anyone else as Luke?
Well, probably not. But I understand why people are kind of sort of turning against it right now, because there are a lot of people out there who just want you to shut up about The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
but
on both sides, really.
There are some flaws there, and we've pointed them out before. But it's still a movie. I still like the movie. I mean, but there are things that I, in my backseat director hat or whatever chair, wouldn't have chose to do. But at the same token, it's done. It's done. It's out there. Deal with it. And we could have done a lot worse. But for people to say he can't tweet stuff that might be critical, it's a free flipping country.
Yeah. And
I believe the news media makes their living on slinging half-truths, so why the hell can't Mark Hamill have an opinion about a movie?
And Mark has been very active in the Star Wars community. If this was Harrison Ford, yeah, maybe.
No.
The guy that didn't want to be a part of Star Wars shouldn't have an opinion. But
if
Mark
if Harrison Ford came out and said anything, the internet would probably just explode. Oh my God, Han Solo, let it suck.
I don't know. I couldn't care less. If he wants to have an opinion, he has every right to. And I agree with it, so I'm biased. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, he's definitely a Twitter user.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely gets out there, and sometimes he can be inflammatory. He can be trollish. I think a lot of times he just wants to have some fun.
Yeah.
But he's a big part of Star Wars and always will be, and I think people need to calm down about it because it's not that big a deal in my opinion. Like I said, I forgot about it until it started getting talked about, and I was like, oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
But it's not saying that, yeah, we should have done this, but it would have been cool to have them all. I mean, that's a little fan service. It's just not the way they went.
And he's allowed to dream about that. He's not the only one who does.
Sure, exactly. Well,
if that offends you, maybe you should just grow thicker skin. Is what I'm trying to get.
Exactly. In the books we're reading, they're all together.
Yep. There's
something to this. It does feel right in a way, and again, this is so many years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and we don't have anything to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And
just jumped into new characters,
which again, I'm fine with, but the continuing adventures of Luke Skywalker going to temples and starting his own temple, and Han Solo and Leia having kids, and Chewie being Chewie, and Lando being Lando, and doing weird stuff with robots. Yeah, he's a little bit of a robot freak, but anyway,
It works. It just works.
People are talking about him like, is Lando going to have a moment in Rise of Skywalker?
And reference L3, you think?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
And then a little port opens up and he can... Never mind. Let's not go there. Oh, that's why he's so happy.
Okay, let me just ask you this. If, and I don't think it'll happen, but if they play a little snippet of L3's voice, just somehow she has a voice in the Millennium Falcon now. Yes, it'd be garbage, but honestly, you'd smile, wouldn't you?
Welcome back, Lando. I don't know. I'm good without that, though.
Oh, I am too, but at the same time, I'd still smile.
Yeah, I can understand. Well, you like Solo. I mean, I like Solo, but you
Solo.
really like Solo. So, all right, let's talk about second big news here, which is obviously bigger news for all the real ones out there, all those real Star Wars fans, not the fake ones.
The ones that have been there from the beginning.
All the real ones, not unlike Mark Hamill, who's a fake one.
Yeah.
We've got the Journey to Star Wars Rise Skywalker publishing program. When this dropped, I was so happy. So happy. We're getting books. We've got a book called Resistance Reborn. Did you see? I know you didn't really catch on.
No, you didn't show me that one. Yeah.
The actual cover art there.
Nice.
So we've got Poe, Finn, Rey, Leia, an X-wing or two, the Falcon on the cover art, and the description in this Journey to Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker novel. Poe Dameron, General Leia Organa, Rey, and Finn must struggle to rebuild the Resistance after their defeat at the hands of the First Order in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Dropping November 12th. Pretty close to my birthday.
Ooh.
I'm getting a lot of birthday presents, man.
Hint, hint.
There's so much going on in November. It's not even funny. It's just going to be a whole big old birthday month. I might as well just burn all my vacation. Just take it off.
Just to read.
Take it off. So let's see here. This is written by Rebecca Roanhorse. Rowan Horse. R-O-A-N
Rowing
horse.
a horse.
Shut up. That's not nice. That's not nice to Rebecca. We're friends with her, right? Mm-hmm. So, cool concept, though. Again, they're they're filling in gaps. They're filling in a lot of gaps,
And they need to.
because it sort of seemed like in the trailer, albeit very small bit of trailer we had, it kind of seems like they have something going. I mean, Finn's got a fancy new outfit, so kind of seems like maybe they've actually rebuilt some stuff. So maybe this is what we're gonna get here. So I'm real stoked about that book. Then we come to, I'm excited about this book too. I'm not excited about the theories. So we've got a book called Force Collector. It is technically categorized as a young adult novel, written by Kevin Shinnick. In this Star Wars, blah, 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 young adult novel set just before The Force Awakens, a restless teenager sets out to discover what connects his mysterious Force powers. God, I read that wrong the first time. The first time too. I'm like enunciating in the wrong points. A restless teenager sets out to discover what connection his mysterious Force powers, slow down, buddy, have to the fabled Jedi and what the Force has in store for him. So if you look at the cover art, a lot of people are trying to speculate that this is...
I don't see Kylo. I don't see Kylo at all in that.
It's Kylo Ren. I'm telling you, he's got the black hair and everything.
Yes, because every black-haired person in Star Wars is Kylo Ren.
Obviously. He's got a little stormtrooper helmet.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, so a little scavenger-looking guy here. He's got one of those little pokey sticks and a stormtrooper helmet on his pack. And
maybe that's
Rey's
father.
Did you look here? Did you look right there in the pack? What's that? What's it looking like? Little lightsaber. Ooh, you didn't see that, did you?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
So some of the speculation is that
lightsaber?
Well, they're thinking.
I don't recognize that lightsaber, so that's interesting.
Well, it kind of looks like the saber from the new video game.
Oh,
but
Fallen Order. Okay.
But a lot of people are speculating. They're saying, well, hey, that could have been Kylo's first, his blue saber that he used to, quote, defend himself from the attacking Luke. In Last Jedi.
You gotta go watch that movie again to see.
Yeah, we know it's your favorite. Yeah. But no, that was the coolest part. So again, it's kind of an easy thing to miss. But then when you're like, wait a minute, let me get in here, guy. A lightsaber. And then what's that little thing poking out of the pack? Looks like a little stone or something, right there on the top.
Yeah.
A little holocron, maybe? No, I don't know. It's a holocron. And then at the back of the pack, looks a lot like a Force training remote.
Yes,
Woo! He doesn't have his blast helmet, though. Maybe that's what he's using the Stormtrooper for. Stormtrooper helmet. He's practicing. So Kylo's out collecting junk, maybe. So this one is on sale November 19th. Looking good. Looking solid. Then, there's more? Yeah, by God. We've got a comic miniseries. Star Wars Allegiance. And the cover art is top secret. Why? How do I know that? Because it says top secret. And that is set out to actually start coming out in October. So looks like 4 issues, and they're all going to be released in October.
It's going to be interesting.
Gotta get it.
It's a good year to be a Star Wars fan.
By God.
Even better year to be a Game of Thrones fan.
Last year to be a Star Wars fan.
No, it's Game of Thrones.
So description. On the run since the destruction of the Star Killer base,
Ooh.
General Leia and the remaining handful of resistance have barely managed to survive, much less strike back against the superior forces of the First Order. Running low on options, Leia decides to reach out to her former allies, the Mon Calamari, whose shipyards once powered the Rebel Alliance. What a trip.
That's great.
Fish people.
Trap.
I think it should be neat. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not a big comic book guy, but I'm just getting stoked about all this stuff. This is just like a nerd year for me. And then we do have a couple other little things, some kids stuff. Little kids book, We Are the Resistance. What is this? Resistance Heroes. Reader with stickers. And then let's see, First Order Villains. We've got, what is this? This is a young kid's chapter book, A Finn and Poe Adventure. God. Let's read the description on this. Join Finn, Poe, and BB-8 on a dangerous but necessary mission for the struggling resistance. With over 20 possible outcomes, readers will have to choose. Will have to choose to what? Will have to choose to carefully in order to keep.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's written
really weird,
really poorly.
Like it was.
I mean, seriously, look at
it. Certain Michael Stackpole.
Well, but it readers will have to choose to carefully in order to keep. I think it's just it's not right. In order to keep Finn, Poe, and BB-8 safe from the evil First Order. So that should be interesting. That drops in October. We've got another. Let's see, another one here. Spark of the Resistance. When a distress plea goes up from an isolated planet Minfar, Resistance heroes Rey, Poe, and Rose hear the call.
No.
You love Rose. Together they will face down the First Order Battalion, terrifying flying creatures, and a weapon that could change the course of the war. Ooh. Giving some stuff to the kids.
It's a mini Death Star.
Why not? And then there's a kids comic, Star Wars Adventures. Let's see here. That's looks like a reference book. Ultimate Star Wars New Edition. Okay. Let's see. Stickers, ship battles, pop-up books, sound book.
Ooh, sound book.
Sounds. A playset. Magnetic playset.
What?
It's a magnetic playset. Why not? a Where's Waldo book, apparently, that you can color.
God, are you kidding me?
Now, okay, so here's an interesting one. So this one is the art of Rise of Skywalker. I want you to look at this photo for me because a lot of people have been really interested in this photo. So on the top, you've got Rey kind of like stabbing her lightsaber down in what looks like water. And then as like a mirror image, you have Kylo stabbing his saber up. And they're meeting in the middle. Reylo confirmed. X lightsaber confirmed. It's kind of a cool picture, though.
Yeah. I can't gather much from it. I mean, I don't think there's any meaning behind it, but that is cool art.
There's meaning to everything, but yeah, that's a visual guide. More visual guides, magazines. God, there's just so much. So anyway, big thing is we're getting some books, and I want to read this Resistance Reborn, and definitely Force Collector comic. That's an obvious one as well. So got a lot to talk about, man. So what do you think of this particular release? Does it blow your mind?
It's a lot to release all at once.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am excited too.
It's definitely the year to be a fan. Last year was pretty stagnant. So
it's true. But, you know, this is also the year that you actually need to read some of the stuff so we can talk about it on the podcast. So you're not reading enough. You know, you need to read more. It's time for reading, but you're not reading enough.
Are you my teacher now?
No, but
Push me to read.
I'm just saying you need to.
I know. It's just
We'll get into it. But in other news here, that's pretty much it for HoloNet. Before we get into the reread,
because we're more interested in Star Wars news and talking Star Wars than the reread at this point.
Well, no. I mean, we've made fun of this book a little bit here and there. Some of the writing's been a little Some of the editing, I think, has been a little But, you know, we kind of had a conversation, and I've been thinking about this for a while, because when I originally kind of came up with this concept for this podcast, I really wanted to get back into these books because it's been a while, and I really loved them when I was younger. And I know you read them and you liked the content in them too. But I think my original concept was we were going to split each book up into 4s. So part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 5. I mean part 4. And then do a 5th episode entire recap. And we just decided to go on a chapter by chapter.
I think what ended up happening was we didn't have time to read a quarter of the book, so we did one chapter. And
there was some busy,
snowballed.
There were some busy times for both of us at the time, you know, trying to figure some stuff out. So what we're going to do is we're going to expedite some of these books. Obviously, we want to make sure that we are bringing the spirit out of the books, bringing the major points. So all that stuff will still be intact. But we're just going to start chopping these books up into quarters. And I think you kind of wanted to maybe start that, like, we'll do this chapter, and then that'll give us, 8 or
9 chapters per.
So 18 remaining chapters that we're going to just split into 2 episodes to essentially get out of this book and then get into that format. And another thing is, we both want to get into some of the new canon material, because there's a lot.
There really is.
You know, I'm in the process of finishing up Queen Shadow. I've got Dark Disciple on the back burner. I've got Catalyst on the back burner. I've got a ton on the back burner. We haven't even talked about Thrawn.
True.
The new Thrawn is going to come out before we know it, and there's 2 we haven't even read. So as much as we love books and we love literature, we're actually kind of far behind in new canon.
We are.
I love the old stuff. It will always stick with me, but I'm also excited to dive into the new stuff because what I've read has been very encouraging.
Yeah. And really, we can get all we want out of the new canon eventually. I mean, we might eventually get Old Republic stuff. If they end up going that route with the movies, we might get we might see Revan books again.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's the format we're going to start doing is getting more chunks out of the way, and the episodes might be a little longer because of that. But in all honesty, I think it's going to get things moving a little better, a little bit more free. There's not a lot of. I don't really think we need to overanalyze chapter by chapter these books. This isn't Tolkien or Game of Thrones where we have to overanalyze every little thing. There's big stuff. We just need to take more notes.
Yeah. In other words, we need to start taking notes.
Yeah, I mean,
Remember that first chapter? We actually took notes.
We did. Actually, the first 4 chapters we took notes, and then we're just kind of like, we don't really need to do this on a chapter by chapter.
Because we're literally reading that chapter that morning, and we still remember it. So now this is going to be we'll have to put more effort in.
So
I think it'll go well.
Hopefully you guys are down with the idea. I just think in the long run it'll allow us to get out more, and then. Listen, as this year progresses, when Mando comes out, we're going to be doing episode by episode Mando review. Yeah. When we're talking about Clone Wars coming out, we're going to be doing episode by episode Clone Wars review.
And maybe some movie reviews again.
Yep. And we need to get back and jumping into the movies, and I think we might do some season recaps of some of the old shows that we haven't talked about, maybe Resistance, Rebels, Clone Wars, just do season recaps and stuff and kind of talk them through between the two of us.
Yeah.
And, honestly, it's the year to get caught up.
It really is.
So we've got a ton of content planned, and I think I just don't want to bog down the reread. I still want to do this.
No, but I think we're just going to go new canon for a little while.
Yeah,
we'll still keep going with this book. This is our anchor to the past. We are definitely going to keep going with this.
It's just gonna be bigger chunks.
Yeah.
So,
because unless you guys want to listen to this until your children are into Star Wars,
2080,
we might want to move on a little bit more and not focus so much on every little grammar issue with each page of every chapter.
I think Vector Prime was written very well. I think this one was
poorly
a bit, a step down from that.
Kill ball.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So that's what we're going to do from here on. If you really, really hate that idea, you know where you can find us.
YouTube.
Find us on Facebook. Shoot us a message.
Talk to me.
We obviously like to hear your thoughts on, the reread. I want to hear your Star Wars stories. I want to hear why Star Wars is so important to you, just like it is to us. And we'll read those on the podcast if unless you really don't want to hear it on the podcast. If it's a really embarrassing story or something like that. But, Facebook's a good place to get a hold of us. We also have our email address, tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. And also have the Patreon page where we have our Dinner with the Patron series. It's just a little series where we eat some crappy fast food.
We just bowl crap.
Well, we generally just eat a little food, BS for, an hour or so. It just gives you a little extra content, a little bit of extra, extra stuff.
Extra.
There you go. And, just something as a thank you. And again, if you want to support the podcast, that's where to go. Ready to get in this reread?
And that'll be it, folks. All right. See you next week.
Chapter 17.
Which we are lovingly calling Kill Ball.
Yeah, Kill Ball. So we're getting back with Corrin and Ganner.
And the Agamarians.
Yes, the University of
Here we go.
Agamar students. Here we go. He can't read again. He's probably drunk, but I'm not. Oh, the University of Agamar students had been very resourceful in dealing with the conditions they discovered on
Bimiel.
There you go. See, I got to have you here. You got to pronounce things for me.
I'm just going to have, when we start chunking this up, I'm going to have to start writing down every word that I think you don't know.
There you go.
And have it listed out.
Why don't you just learn to pronounce stuff? Well, because once the stand started to fly, they developed broad, flat-foot gear that could be buckled to the bottom of boots, expanding the size of the walker's footprint. So basically, snow boots, snowshoes.
They all had tennis rackets with them.
There you go.
They all brought tennis rackets.
Basically, just
I don't need one. I need to bring two with me on this archaeological dig.
Displacing weight on sand. Good job. And they had a little compartment underneath the heel filled. I can't talk. Filled with dead /rat scent, referred to as
stink.
Hey,
stank.
Did you put some of that stink in your shoe? Yeah, I got that stink in my shoe.
I got that stink in my tennis racket. You got that stink in your tennis racket?
By God, I got it in a tennis racket.
Okay.
Skipping.
This is why we need to change
No,
format.
I'm just bad. So basically, Corn and Ganner are kind of going about slightly different ways of gaining the trust of the occupants here because they're going to be here for a little bit.
Yeah.
So while Corrin kind of starts to think, maybe we should sort of portray
Play
ourselves. Yeah, basically play dumb so that they, kind of lull him into a false sense of security so we can stab him later.
Yeah.
Ganner is off in the corner flirting with Trista here.
And I love the logic. I love the logic because she has a crush on him. All the guys now respect him, and
Yeah,
the
that was-
girls are neutral to him. This isn't how high school works, and this is a high school book.
That was pretty fantastic. So, and then he started talking to Trista, and then all the men who loved her respected him, and all the women
We're neutral.
they were neutral. They didn't love
and the
him.
rest thought he was manipulative.
They didn't love him or
Could be
hate him.
manipulated.
But you know what? They were neutral.
And
And
others thought he could be manipulated.
And Dr. Pace, she thought she could manipulate him. Good job, Dr.
But
Pace.
also, I guess he's human.
Yeah, and
I guess he's not a secret disguise / rat.
secret agent man. And that eased the tension, apparently. Him flirting with Trista.
Good times. Good storytelling. Where do you think this guy grew up? Where do you think he got the neutral thing and all this crap?
I don't know, man.
Are you tired yet? Are you just tired from reading this chapter?
It's just so...
2 pages in.
No, it's just... It seems... That whole paragraph seems so corny. So because he flirts and giggles with Trista, the men respect him, and the lady...
Women are neutral.
The men want to be him, and the ladies want to be neutral towards him.
And the rest want
Want to
just
manipulate him.
manipulate.
Well, there is some manipulation going on here eventually, so I do want to kind of get around that.
That could be a great shirt, by the way. Ganner.
What?
The men respect him, the women don't care, and the rest want to manipulate him.
No one would know what we're talking about. No one would get that. Okay.
Our podcast listeners would.
They would. So they're basically, going over the fact that Hughes and Vong had obviously been on this planet. And so...
By the way, there's another part we didn't mention.
Mention it.
So her female friends remain neutral toward the Jedi, or at least towards Corrin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So they were a
Poor
little...
Corrin.
They were just neutral towards Corrin. Yeah. So maybe the men want to be him, the women want to be with him, except Corrin. And then Dr. Pace wants to manipulate him.
Yeah.
It's good. Everybody wants
But
to
not Corrin because they're buddies, because they know the same people. Oh, we're in the same wedding.
I remember
I
one
was the
time
best man.
we were in the same wedding together.
I
Isn't
don't remember you. You weren't very memorable. You're kind of ugly in that dress.
Isn't that a coincidence? Do. Okay. So anyway, our favorite Jedi decide they're going to go on a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
And this is where we start getting Darth Austin's favorite word, kill ball.
Oh, it's not just a kill ball. There are multiple iterations of the word kill in this. It's great.
Well, they also talk about kill scent, which is apparently something that the slash rats extrude once they kill something. And it stinks worse than the stink.
Yeah. It can cause a kill frenzy.
Would you also categorize that as a blood rush?
Blood rush.
Oh, let's see. Well, I want a feeding frenzy. And then Corrin's best line here, we skirt the kill ball and keep going. Okay. Skirting the kill ball.
Yeah, skirt the kill ball.
Whatever. Everybody's so lost right now.
I just imagine one of those, like, old cartoon, like when people get into a fight and it's just a dust storm and then there's like little exclamation marks and fists flying out of the dust storm. Only it's a kill ball.
Yeah, God. Okay, so let's get to the Yuuzhan Vong village. What do you think, buddy?
Oh, there's definitely only 2.
Well, by the way, there's a Yuuzhan Vong village here, and it's a bunch of shells.
Yeah.
They live in shells. Did you like the whole description of how they like get in their shell and they sleep in? They just like crawl up in the shell and like get in the little section above the shell or whatever.
That's great.
So the Yuuzhan Vong like to live in
stuff out
shells.
of that shell. I don't sense anything out of that shell. There's Yuuzhan Vong in that shell.
They're playing an intricate shell game.
There can't be empty shells. There has to be Yuuzhan Vong in those shells.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So we have this creature which has some bad stuff happening to it. Got some coral growing out of it. Coral. Some
Curl.
He's got some Jerry curls growing out of it. Now he's got coral.
Right out of his cheek.
Yeah.
Jerry curls on his cheek, guys.
He Jerry curled his cheek hair. It's great. So
he comes out of his little tent screaming because of the Jerry curls he put on his cheek.
Well, basically this creature is essentially animalistic, right?
Yeah.
And then out come 2 Yuuzhan Vong. So they are still on this planet. What they're doing, we don't know. But they basically...
You know what they're going to do is beat the hell out of this guy.
And they call it a slave. See, here's the thing. They kind of go into a point of view of the Yuuzhan Vong, which is interesting.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And they just basically beat the living crap out of it. Breaking bones, break his ribs, break his jaw.
High-fiving afterwards. Yeah. Come on, let's go get bro soda.
Good job, Yuuzhan Vong, bro number 1. Good job, Yuuzhan Vong, bro number 2.
Let's go back in our shell and get some soda pop.
God. But the thing is that the, quote, slave does charge him. So he's like trying to attack him, the Yuuzhan Vong, for some reason.
Which is adorable.
Yeah.
But very sad at the same time.
It's like a sponge running at you. Yeah. It's so cute.
Coral sponge.
Corals. Bunch of corals. SpongeBob SquarePants and coral. But yeah, I mean, they basically beat the living crap out of it. Corrin and Ganner essentially hide. They're not trying to be discovered at this point, but
Corrin makes Ganner throw up.
here's the coolest part of this chapter, right? It actually proves, that Corrin belongs, as a Jedi. Yeah. So Ganner's over here. Essentially, he's got his lightsaber out. He's ready to fight. He's ready to just cut these Yuuzhan Vong down, right? Well, Corrin projects the kill scent into his brain. He just
badass.
He just shoves it up in his brain, and it was the visual was great because they said he's like Ganner puts his hand over his mouth and just his lunch just oozes out from his fingers, and he's just puking all over the place. So Corrin uses like a projection here to effectively alter Ganner's mental state. Now we know Ganner. Probably pretty badass lightsaber user, but weak-minded. If you ever do that again, I'll kill you.
So let me ask you, what's better, Corrin doing that or his son with the ants? I'm kind of still going towards the ants.
The ants are pretty cool.
I like the ants. Super dark side, but it's really cool.
I know the whole animal friendship thing is a little bit...
I'll tell you what. Call it friendship.
Dooku Jedi Lost gets into a little bit of that.
Oh yeah,
you need to listen to it. But anyway, it's kind of been crapped on a lot. But the ant thing was cool. I actually thought that was neat. Yeah. But this is also really neat too. But I mean, we knew he could do this because we talked about it before. But it's still really neat to see it in practice and how easily he was able to do it to Gannon. Ganondorf. Ganner. Yeah, we got it. Let's see here. Do we need to really... here now we get to the point of popping and breaking bones. Beating the crap out of him.
Throw him into a little pile that becomes a kill ball.
Kicks him in the stomach. Blood, dark fluids coming out of his mouth. The Yuuzhan Vong laugh at him.
Go back in their shell.
They keep beating him up. And then they go back in their shell. And, Corrin, in order to calm Ganner down, he projects the image of hills in Ganner's mind.
I'm
So-
gonna kill hills.
Oh, dude, these hills are so calming, man. I don't want to throw up anymore at all.
I don't smell the
Hey,
stink
corn.
anymore.
Hey,
I like
Corn,
it.
man, these hills are so trippy, dude.
hey,
I love them.
Dude, do you want to go run to the hills?
It just seemed weird. He projects hills into his mind, not flowers or happy butterflies or, I don't know, a fresh apple pie. No, he's like, here's some hills, bro. Enjoy. Enjoy the trip, man. Don't take the purple acid, though.
Only eat one.
God. So, yeah, I mean, essentially, like, Ganner's pretty PO'd, which I can understand. Because he did. He kind of wanted to go fight him. And Ganner's basically like, Ganner, Jesus. Corn is basically saying, listen, there could be 2. There could be more. There could be 1,000. How do we know we could even defeat these guys in one-on-one combat?
Well, you could with Corn if he just makes them all throw up, but he can't do that.
So
Maybe he's the one Jedi who can interact with.
Maybe.
Now I just keep picturing the old Dr. Xavier and like the really old X-Men TV series where he would project things with his mind. There'd be like a wave going out, and the wave is just the word throw up, throw up.
But essentially, he's just trying to get his point across. If we were to engage, we could possibly basically
Get everybody killed
here. So, that's smart. That's smart. I mean,
then those women won't be neutral to you anymore.
Well,
They'll be neutral to everything.
At least maybe still towards Corn. They might still be neutral,
Yeah.
but he's an older guy.
Yeah.
Got to get that young meat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a chapter.
Yep, that was a chapter, all right.
I wish I could elaborate more on it.
Was the reveal exciting to you? Because I knew there was using Vong on this planet. It kind of went without
I kind of figured. It
wasn't going to be a boring /rat adventure.
A boring /what adventure?
/rat.
A rat adventure.
/rat adventure.
It's a rad adventure. You make fun of me all the time for messing up, man. Oh, so your favorite chapter, though, right?
Sure. Everyone is.
Oh, my goodness. Everyone is.
Until the next.
So, yeah, I mean, I wish I could elaborate a little bit more on that, but really it's, they find a use in Vong Village. We get to see Corrin's force projection power, which is pretty cool. We learn that these mega scientists learned how to make something that Alaskans use all the time. Good job.
Yeah, definitely Alaskans.
Dudes, this is the coolest invention ever. Look, listen, I got these 2 tennis rackets, man. And guess what? It's not even, they're just a tennis racket. See, I put them on my shoes, man, and we can walk on the sand.
But I put a pouch on it. Put a freaking pouch on it, bro.
Hey.
You know what I'm going to put in that pouch? No, I'm not going to put food in that pouch. You know what I'm going to put in that pouch, bro? I'm going to put kill scent on that pouch.
You know those dead Schweepy we've been putting all over the place? We're going to just stuff a few of those.
my shoes.
They don't want to get near me. The /rats hate it, man. It's so funny. Those Schweepy. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, crap. I think I put the frenzy scent
kill
in mine
scent.
instead. Crap. No.
Here's an awesome prank. Let's put kill scent in one. Oh, my God, I'm dying.
Jerry, you're funny, man. You always just roll with the punch. Oh, he's dead.
It's great. So anyway, there we go. There's another chapter down. Like I said, we're going to start light speeding through some of these books. Really just to get through it, Not that we're not having a bad time reading the books, but there's so much we need to get to. And I really want to get into new canon stuff. I really want to get into talking about some other things. Yeah. And we're going to continue the reread of these books. We're going to just split them up in the quarters. So there'll be 4 episodes a month, basically just going over the books, and then a 5th episode that'll be a recap. And, then we're going to get into all the new fun stuff just as soon as the Darth reads.
Yep.
What he needs to.
Because all that free time I have should be spent on reading.
I need
to spend more time on it. I know.
You need to just get yourself a wireless earbud and just hide it in your ear when you're at work. Just one. Listen to them audio books. Boss man will never know. He'll never find out, man.
I work around running engines all the time. It's kind of hard to hear.
That's why you only have one in. You leave your free ear, with one out. Yeah. Science, man.
Yeah. I'll just go out and buy $200 set of Bluetooth headphones so I can use one. Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea.
Solid plan.
All right, folks. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode here, as loopy as it got. And hopefully you enjoy the new format and the new content. We're going to be getting into a lot of stuff. This year is a great year to be a Star Wars fan. And, God, we've got so much to go through. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, guys, have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the kill ball be with you.
Say it right. Say it right.
May the kill set be with you.
Just say it. Say the thing. Say the thing.
Throw up, throw up, throw up.
May the force
be with you.
There you go.